All right, how's everyone doing today? Happy Mother's Day to any of the moms that are in chat. I know we got one, Miss Mo Strike. That's probably the only one if you look at the statistics for the demographics for this channel, but that's okay. How's everyone doing today? Rob, how's it going, man? USS Crazy Bat, how you doing? Pershing 33, how's it going? Stelios, how you doing today? Good to see you. Terry. General Washington, I think I saw you. There you are. How you doing today, bud? And it's been a crazy week. We were just saying how it's been a little bit dry on the content side, updates, things like that, which really probably wasn't even really a fair thing to say since we were coming off the heels of the all the mirror stuff and you know, they had other events running and stuff, but I think I put out a video every single day this week on news updates, which is not normal for me. I generally do one or two maximum, depending on what's going on. So, Rob, I don't know if that's fixed yet, but we need to keep testing it. Martin, how's it going? Mother's Day is in October here. Oh, really? Okay. All right, well, let's jump into it. I have family coming over here in just under or just over an hour. We're going to do spaghetti today. So we're doing a, not an assortment, but a couple different kinds, like a standard meat sauce and then a spicy Italian, which is my favorite, with the angel hair pasta. I love it. I haven't eaten all morning, and I didn't eat much last night, so I'm going to eat a lot here shortly. Made room for it. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into it here. We're just going to hit the console stuff first. There's not a lot going on over there, so we'll go ahead and just knock that out, and then we'll take a look at the updates here on PC, and then we'll talk about the changes to the Phoenix packs. So pretty brief here. So you have the MUDs sale just like on PC, and the upgrade weekend basically just like on PC. That's pretty much it on console, so still a little dry over there. They'll probably see all these updates that we got here on PC probably sometime next month, I'm assuming. All right, man, I gotta scroll way down here. All right, so we'll save the Phoenix stuff for the end here. So we have a upgrade weekend going, so all of your upgrades are gonna basically be ×2. So now is the time to do that. Along with that, coinciding with the Phoenix pack, event, you can get a free one every day. So that makes that nice, doubling what you would otherwise get from those. Pretty straightforward on the upgrades. Generally, I know back when I was first building my main, account and tune on my free-to-play, I still do this. Is if I can, I wait to do upgrades for an upgrade weekend, unless it's just taking way too long. So you can basically just, double your resources just by waiting for that time. All right, upgrade weekend. All right, we have the new TFO coming out. So they said it's a rework of Assault on Terra Nor, but really it's a replacement. I think the overall theme to it looks like it's going to be the same, where you have similar objectives, some combinations you have to go through, and then at the end baiting Lita onto certain areas of the map in order to debuff her so you can do damage to her. So other than that, it's really a new TFO. I wouldn't really call it a rework. For me, a rework is when they go in and just change some of the way that it looks or the textures and things like that. So this is really a replacement for that, and that is going to go with let me see here. Sorry, this is for the event, part of the event anyways. Let me find the right one. Need to go back even further. There's so much stuff. So, replacement for Assault on Terra Nor. It would be kind of cool if they just left them both in, but I understand, that doesn't make sense. They're putting all the work in because they don't want to have older stuff, the older Deep Space Nine. I am interested to see how running around on this map's going to be. I'm sure I'm going to be running into walls, getting caught on stuff, because it's a lot smaller than the old DS9. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited for it to look better, and hopefully the mechanics will feel even better, although I didn't have any big problems with the one before. But it is one of those ones where you kind of need to know what you're doing right at the end, especially if you want to get through it, because you can't damage the end boss, Lita, without getting her onto those pads. So maybe they'll make the prep phase a little bit better about explaining that as well. But it's generally not too if you go in with a group, then it's fun, it's easy, but without that it can kind of be a bummer. We did crepes with the family. Okay, nice. D-Church, what's going on, buddy? Sorry, I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything here. What do you guys think about this? You excited for it, or meh? I mean, I'm always happy when they add something, new into the game. Just something, different to kind of try out. I mean, if you play the game a lot and you've played it for a long time, you tend to, I know for myself, I tend to start kind of moving into this lane where I'm kind of only doing one thing, and so when they do, add something that's totally different, that kind of shakes it up a little bit, so I want to go and try something different just to see how it is. With that being said, I'll probably only run it a couple times, and then as it comes up in queues or the endeavors, that kind of thing, then I'll come back to it. So that is the new TFO replacement. And I had clicked into the wrong one a moment ago, so let's look at that now. So we have an event starting that's going to launch with the new episodes. That is Heart of the Storm, and it'll be similar to the event before last, so before the Red Alert, where we'll have a selection of episodes, 2 of them being the new ones, and that is Blue Shift. I was saying shirt in the video this week, so a little correction there. And you'll have a selection of the TFOs along with the new one as well. So you will run one of these or multiples if you want to, but you'll get progress once per day, every 20 hours. And once you get 20 daily points, you will unlock some rewards here. So it's a ground set. It'll have a costume unlock. The ground set is a 4-piece, and it looks like it's all around electrical damage, essentially. Once we get it, we'll check it out and see how it is. It doesn't give us a lot of specific stats on it, which wouldn't really even matter anyways until you get it into the game and actually see how it's going to affect things. But I always love a new costume unlock. This looks pretty cool. So it's basically a mirror version of what we already have in game, so it's kind of cool. Then we'll get the dilithium. You can keep running it after that in order to accumulate additional dilithium. So that'll be coming on the 10th. We got a mud sale. That is pretty self-explanatory. I'm not going to dive way into that. We have the vanity shields on sale, which is pretty cool. I really like when they do this. They do it for, you know, trying to sync up a lot of the dill out of it. It says here that it's purchasable for $280, but it's cheaper in game. And I don't know if is that tied to being in a fleet, or is there some other reason, or it's just an ongoing dill sell? Yeah, because it ends up being $238, so it's almost 50K cheaper, which is kind of weird. Can't stick around. I understand, man. Hey, I appreciate you you being here at the beginning. You have a good one. Section 31. Yeah, I agree. I picked up the Baul on my free-to-play last time they did this, and while I really like it, I kind of regret not getting the Section 31, so I'm going to get it this time. I saved up just enough, and I held enough back to where I still had enough, because a lot of us started buying the old Phoenix upgrades the day before it went live, but I did save some so that because they announced it on the 10 Forward stream, like later towards the end of that night when they made the announcement for the changes to the Phoenix pack. So I know a few people, they just blew all of their dill on boxes, and then they found out about this, which was, it's kind of a bummer. So, but yeah, so those are it's a little bit cheaper than what the blog post says. And again, I'm not sure if that's the same for everybody, or if that's tied to a fleet or something. I don't think it is, because this isn't a fleet holding or anything. So anyways, there's quite a few nice ones in here. And the only other way to get these would be on the exchange for astronomical amounts of EC or opening lock boxes. So I like when they add these in. They don't do it real often, but when they do, it's nice. Find the right button here. So if you're looking for a shield and you still have dill, now's the time. Or if you're okay with spending money, if you put basically $5 will get you enough. If you buy $5 worth of Zen, convert it to dilithium, then you'll have enough to get a shield and a little bit left over. All right, California class. Let's take a look here. So Cerritos, this is coming out next week. I'm pretty pumped about this. I just really like the ship. I went through the specs on it. Let's look at that first, and we'll talk about what else is coming out. It's not game breaking. It's not like OP or anything like that, but it's not a bad ship. There's enough universal seating in it, and the weapons layout's standard 4-4. I don't think it's bad. I'm going to get it, and I'm going to fly it, and I'm going to have fun with it. I'm not going to break any records with it, but that's not all this game is about. So, but this ship can be built to do really well. Like I said, it's not going to be on like the highest of the top ends, but the overall, it's Miracle Worker, so you have the extra console slot. It's got the 3 tactical slots, and if you X upgrade it, then you can fit up to 5 tactical consoles on it if you want to. It has a decent enough amount of universal seating, so beam overload. I was thinking probably like dual beam bank build all across the front, and omnis in the back, maybe with a trilithium turret, doing beam overload or something like that. But I'm pretty pumped about it. I don't know, when I first saw it in the show, I'm like, it's kind of a meme they made, right? But it's kind of grown on me a little bit, and some of the visuals that they've given us here, like this one, it just looks really, really good, and I think it's going to look really good in game. So I'm excited to get it. I'm going to do some demo record stuff with it for funsies. Is that going to play? Yeah, but I think they did a really good job at capturing a cartoon ship, in game like that. We're going to turn Spotify down more. I want that ship, so I'll be getting it Tuesday. Yep. Yeah, it's a good looking ship. The build on it, the layout on it is not terrible by any means at all. If that's something, my internet is not liking playing that through. If you have the means to get that and you want it, don't let anybody talk you out of it. I probably will get it off the exchange. I don't like doing the lockbox stuff because you just don't know what it's going to take, to get one. So I generally will just buy the keys, sell them, and then purchase it off the exchange. Where's your girlie? How you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, I had to start earlier. I got a bunch of stuff going on this afternoon, being Mother's Day and everything. So I was asking my wife, I was like, you know, there was a lot of stuff going on. I really want to go live because I wasn't planning on it because of Mother's Day. And she's like, no, just do it a little bit earlier and make it quick. I'm like, all right, cool. She's the best. Firebrand, how you doing? Yeah, so Cerritos, that's a thumbs up for me. But it's a personal preference thing, right? So I'm not saying, yeah, get it. You know, everyone's going to love it, and it's, you know, the best ship bang for buck out there. It is a lockbox ship, so it's not going to be super cheap to get. And it's not going to, you know, if you're not doing real well in terms of your build and stuff like that, adding a ship like this isn't going to make any difference either. But if you just like it and you want it, I don't see any reason not to go for it. So they're not doing a lower decks lockbox, so they're just going to be adding basically lobby items in. I'm not going to go through all of this, but there is items coming. Looks like we're getting some ground gear, probably getting a space set. To be honest, I haven't read through this stuff real intently. So we're getting rifles, kit modules, universal kit modules. So it might be just a set of ground stuff there, and then the ship in the lockbox. So might be some cool stuff to play with. Looks like some meme stuff here, but hey, it's lower decks. That's what it's supposed to be, right? And then lastly, they are finally adding in the Picard stuff, the Zatvash lockbox items. It's been like a year, I think, at least, since this box came out, and so now they're adding it all into the Infinity boxes. So things that were in there will become more plentiful and should get a little bit cheaper on the exchange to get. So that's nice. They're finally doing that. But that took a long time. Normally it was like every quarter they would add whatever came out before into the Infinity packs, but not this time. Engineer Drain build, Rob. Yes. Me and you are going to work on that together. We'll brainstorm it out. And we're going to prove to Spencer once and for all that that is the way to go. I get, okay, 2 years doing everything, month, and work all the time. 2040, or I'm sorry, not 2040, 240, 260, and I get it 2 years doing that every month. You're talking about that's your work schedule? It sounds like a lot. Kitten Claus, how you doing? I'm going to wait for the keys to go on sale, buy a bunch, and then wait for the California to drop. Yeah, and that's it. You know, people that play the long game, right? So you wait for the Zen to go on sale, stock up then, right? And then you wait for keys to go on sale, you stock up then, and then you wait a little bit because the exchange price goes down. Once a little time goes by, then you can sell those keys once there hasn't been a sale on keys for a while on the exchange, and you can make, you know, the best bang for buck, you know, starting all the way from IRL money, you know, to EC. I'm not disciplined enough to do that, unfortunately, so I should, though. Everybody should get the most out of your money. I need you to make a California class advanced phaser beam overload tank. Cables for you. I will do it. Promise. All right, and so this is all happening on the 10th as well. So we'll get the new Lobby stuff, we'll get the ship, and we'll get the stuff from the card boxes put into, or the Zatvash boxes into the Infinity boxes. Okay, so we got mud stuff on sale. They are going to rework the Fed tutorial. Somebody had made a suggestion or said they wish that they could take a current character and just bring it back through in order to check it out. Because I tell you what, after all the recruit events we've had this year so far, I'm not rolling another one just to go and check it out. So we can forget about that. But that's good because that was a pretty dated tutorial there. So redoing that is a good thing. And am I in the wrong one too? No. Let's go ahead and move on here. All right, and lastly, before we get to Phoenix packs, Trizander, what's up, man? Drive by? In my mind, I'm saying what you know I'm saying, but I'm not going to say it. It's the worst. All right, so we have another recruit incoming. Delta recruit. If you don't have one, roll one. If you're still, leveling up the last 3 recruits like me, roll it. Get to it when you can. Although, they did say that these are going to be happening much more often, because it used to be really rare that we would get these recruit events. And they said in a 10 forward earlier this year that we'd be seeing a lot more of this. So I'm assuming, if you don't feel like doing that, then you could probably just wait. You don't get a free character slot because these are reruns now. But I would suggest grabbing one if you don't have one, and if you can't get to it, just get to it a little bit later. Okay, well, come on. I'm trying to forget about it. I just keep hearing it playing. I'm not saying it. Because the only way to say it is in, trying to copy your accent, and I'm not going to do it. Maybe I'll download the recording so we can just play it when you come in, huh? Sound commands are a thing on YouTube. You can do that. What was I saying? You guys got me all mixed up now. Yeah, in your accent. You do it in an accent on purpose, so I can't say it the way that you say it. Let's leave it at that. Okay. Let's take a look here. Okay, so sorry, I'm just trying to get my brain together what I want to do. Let's move on to the Phoenix box stuff, because I am starting to run lower on time here, and I want to kind of delve into that a little bit more. So just recap: Delta recruit. If you don't have one, pick one up. If you're tired of trying to level up tunes, save it for later. You can always delete it. So, but I do think that these are going to be coming back probably again at least once this year. It's my guess based on what they said, and we should get a temporal recruit, I'm assuming, after this. So if you missed that last year. All right. Let me see what parts I want to hit here. So I'm just going to focus on the upgrades and the ability to buy the X upgrades, experimental ship upgrades, and that all kind of ties around the drop rate, right? Because the rest of this to me doesn't really matter, right? So they got, well, let me just say I'm bummed out they got rid of the tier 5 ships. That was a nice way to be able to get them, although it was pretty damn rare to be able to get them even at the ultra rare with the way it was before, right? So, but now they're not available whatsoever, so they're impossible to get through it. So I wish that those would have stayed in some way. I don't know how they would have mixed that in. I don't know what the answers are, but that part kind of bums me out a little bit. Why don't we talk about... Well, let's just kind of look at the drop rate. So we're gonna do some here in game, and I also took a recording from yesterday. So I bought 130 boxes, and I opened them up just to see what I would get. So let's just take a look here. I guess I could probably just jump to the end of this because who cares? All right, so we're gonna just kind of jump to the end here. So I started moving stuff around because I feel like if I'm not getting epics, I need to like pause for a minute or reposition something. Some weird superstitious stuff. It's not even superstitious, but I think I'm adjusting the matrix code. Okay, so out of 130, I got 20 ultra rares. I got 44 of the very rares, and I got 66 rares. So a part of me wants to say, okay, well, these are common, these are rares, and these are very rares. And to a certain degree, that's true, right? But the way you spend them is a little bit different. So it's not exactly apples and oranges. Now, I did not do any math on this. And the reason for that is... once I started opening boxes, it was pretty apparent to me that the drop rates, quality-wise, are better. How much better, I can't say exactly. If they were, like, if I couldn't tell any difference, then I might have gone through and tried to do some math or asked somebody else to do the math for me just to see, how little did they increase it. But I'm telling you right now, this spread here is very good. And so let's forget about the ultra rare, right? We're pretending they're the old ones. I would not, out of that many... I don't think I would have had a lot more of the uncommons. I can't, like I said, I can't say how much the increase is, but anecdotally, and we'll open some more here in just a moment and just kind of see how that is. The other part of that is I know 2 people that have got Epic tokens, 3 if you include the person on Discord that was saying that they got one as well, just in the last couple days. I don't know anybody at all that's gotten one in the past like year and a half prior to this change. So I do feel like the drop rate is better than it was. And looking at the spread here, normally I would end up with just a couple of the very rares and maybe, you know, a little bit less of the rares, and then the uncommons, I would have a ton of uncommons. So the spread, I think, is better. Now let's look at the purchasing power of it. Just with what I got here, I could buy, just out of the ultra rares, I could buy, what, 4? I could buy 4 X upgrades. Excuse me. Ship experimental upgrades. 4 of them, okay? If this system was the way it was before... Excuse me, I got something in my throat. If this system was the way it was before, I most likely wouldn't even have got an ultra upgrade and would not have been able to buy any. So the purchasing power of the ultra rare is decreased because you need more of them in order to buy them. But because of the number of them that you're getting compared to what it was before, I'm able to get way, way more. So just on the drops that I got here, I could buy a total of 6 of them. So $5 worth of Zen that I switched to dilithium would give me 6 experimental upgrades, which is awesome. Rob, check my DMs. Okay. Is it the sound? I knew it. I knew it. All right. All right. Give me a second and I'll play it. Oh my God. Rob, you're lucky I put that up on a second computer. It's probably visible on my rear camera. All right. Anyways. I don't know where Discord's going to open up, Rob, on my my main computer here, so I don't think I'm actually going to open that right now. Anyways, back to not being distracted. So basically the $5 that I spent, or, you know, if you just grinded out the dill, you're getting a lot. If your value is in the ship upgrades, the X upgrades, you're able to get a lot more for your dilithium that you're spending on these boxes. So again, with opening 130 of them, I could potentially, if I wanted to, I could get 6 of those ship upgrades. So from that side of it, in terms of being able to get that, and especially because you can get them from any of these tokens now. Now, it does take a lot more. I don't think I would spend 100 of them on these, right? Because that would be the least amount of bang for buck, because it took 100 boxes in order to open all those up. But by being able to use both of the ultra rare and the very rare, that's huge, being able to get those. So if you need more of those, and that was something that was important to you, and I think the upgrade part's probably going to be more the sticking point of contention here, the ship upgrade, or not the ship upgrade, but just the tech upgrades, and we'll get to that in a minute. But if you're after being able to stock up on the X upgrades, you can get more X upgrades with the change that they made, and that's basically the bottom line for that part of it. So in terms of that side of it, it was a buff. Initially, like I said, when I was looking at this, and I'm like, well, 1 ultra rare would get me 2. Now I need 5 of them. But now 5 are basically very rares, and they're dropping at a much higher rate, right? So you're just able to get more of those with the new current system. Let's go ahead and jump into game. And I need to grab another drink here, guys, real quick. My throat... The allergies, everything's starting to bloom here in Arizona, and my allergies are just like killing me. All right, let's pull this up. All right, we got a nice fleet. Oh, we're doing section 31s. Here, let me get the right outfit on, and then I'm gonna grab a drink, and then we're gonna open some more of these boxes and see what we get. Fingers crossed for an epic. I could really use an epic. There we go. All right, we're matching. All right, guys, give me just a moment. I'm just gonna get another drink real quick, blow my nose, and then we'll grab some more of these Phoenix boxes, and I'll catch up on chat, I promise. All right. I did get the sound moved over too. All right, Triz, I'm going to play it for you. Wrong one.
It's the mixed mapping. It's the mixed mapping. It's the mixed mapping.
I don't know why I did that. Triz, you are one of a kind, man. All right, let's go ahead and grab some more boxes here. All right, so I'm going to do 500 Zen. That's going to get me 250 to lithium. Make sure I have room in my inventory. I need more inventory slots bad. Martin, you're gonna do a 46k Zen on boxes for the okay. Well, that would be awesome. Ever since I saw it, I'm like, I want it so bad. Get yourself a good amount of Lobi like that too. All right. Why can't I buy more of those? Okay, so 150 or 250, so that's okay, 7. So we're gonna open 70. I think when I opened the 130, I had Zen already. Or I'm sorry, I already had a bunch of not Lobi. Jeez, my mind is just dying today. Dilithium. All right, so we're gonna open these 70 boxes and let's see what kind of spread we get. When you guys open these, do you just spam click them or do you click them slow, or does it make any difference? I guess when you got tons of them, you just got to click them fast, but... No epic, so that's a bummer. And I know Nick and B opened, what was it, like 2,500 of them a few weeks back and didn't get an epic. So, I mean, just based off of that, I mean, you could say that, you know, 1 in 2,000, it's the drop rate's worse than that. So until we start, until someone does some tests on that to see how much better it's gotten. But they did say that they did not buff that in a way to where they're going to be dropping all the time, right? It's still something that's supposed to be pretty rare to be able to get. So on this drop here, in terms of X upgrades, experimental ship upgrades, I could get, what, 3 of them? So again, that's not bad. If I had just opened 70 with the last system, chances are I probably wouldn't even gotten ultra rare and I wouldn't be able to get any of them. So again, I'll say for the X upgrades, the drop rates and the ability to get them is much, much better. Let's take a look at the new boxes here. Scroll down. Now this, I think we would need to do some math to kind of go through and do I have the other ones in here? I don't. to see how this all adds up. But basically, we have a 25% drop in the amount of upgrade points. And I think with my gut feeling on opening quite a few boxes, and I haven't started doing upgrades yet to really, feel how those actually apply, when I use them on ships. But I don't think it's that bad of a nerf if you're buying them in bulk. If you're not buying them in bulk, then it's definitely a nerf. And so the reason for that is, so let's say, you're a new player, you only have enough dilithium and you want to grab just a box or two, or you're just using the free ones. If you're getting a drop at rare or even at very rare, rare or very rare, your overall amount of tech upgrade points is going to be lower, right, by 25%. But if you're buying 10 or 20 or 40, or larger numbers of them, with the increased drop rates, getting more higher quality ones and being able to break those down, I feel like that's offsetting it pretty well. I still think it's a little bit of a nerf, but I don't think it's that bad. Not enough for me to really kind of be unhappy about it. I know that when I initially, read the blog post and I saw that, I was like, this sucks. I'm seeing, something go from what it was down to here, and I'm just saying it's bad. Now, I did read that, we're going to have a better drop rate. I do feel like we are seeing that for sure. How that evens out, I don't know. It's definitely not better. And my feeling is that it's just a little bit worse. And so let's talk about that a little bit more, right? So the reason that they're doing some of this stuff, we've all been complaining for years about the dilithium exchange rate to Zen and the problem there. So number one, it's not broken, it works. It just takes time, and it's at the maximum amount, right? So you're getting the smallest amount of Zen for dilithium when you go and trade that in. And so what we'd like to see is the wait time go down, and preferably the price go down would be nice too, right? So we can get more Zen for the dilithium. But the issue is, we all have all these other ideas of how they could do this or they could do that. And what they've focused on a lot is, reducing the amount or your ability to get enormous amounts of dilithium, which I don't really like. But I understand it. They've added in some sinks like the vanity shields and things like that, and reworking this particular system I think helps with that a little bit as well. What they said, Bordicus said on the live on their 10 forward live stream, is that the old way of doing upgrades, so the crafted upgrades that require dilithium, that used to be a very steady dill sink that helped kind of keep the market stabilized. And when they went live with the Phoenix boxes being able to be purchased all the time, basically that completely disappeared. And the ratio of how much dilithium you needed to be able to use to get these Phoenix upgrades ended up being much, much lower per upgrade point or spec point, essentially. And so really the mistake they made is they should have never made Phoenix boxes available year-round. They should have just kept them available for when there was when there was Phoenix events. Because I can remember saving up like what was it? I saved up like 1 million. For me, this is a lot. 1 million dilithium, waiting. And when it came out, I spent every piece of it, and so did most of the people I played with. It was a good sink, and I think that's probably one of the biggest mistakes that they made, was making this full-time available. But if they had pulled that back, then there would have been major outrage. I wouldn't have been happy about that, but it wasn't intended to be year-round, and so they should have never done that, but they did, right? So this is where we are. The other, so my point is, in thinking about this over the past few days and the past few weeks, as we've kind of been looking at some of the things that they're doing to address this, is there's not really a fun and easy way to do it. And I'm not trying to like shill for them, but I'm just thinking about, like, in general, like if you look at just the world today and, the economies and inflation and things like that, there's no easy way out of that, right? I mean, you got to raise interest rates, and there's pain involved with potentially fixing that kind of stuff. And so I have, and many other people have, ideas where, they could do things that would be less painful. But really what we're talking about is big expansions of the game or the game mechanics in the way that you get loot and you get different items and things like that. And the bottom line is that they're not going to do that kind of stuff. I mean, based on what they've told us, they don't have the financials, the manpower, any of those kinds of things. So we're kind of left with, a choice. They can do these kinds of things, and hopefully we see more stuff that, is looked upon more favorably going forward to kind of help with this. I'm just trying to think, like I said, we have all these kind of ideas, but most of them I don't think they're based in reality is the problem. I mean, it's not that it's not possible, but it's not possible for them is the issue. So, like I said, my knee-jerk reaction to this was I don't like it. I see numbers going down and things like that. I think the overall impact for it is not anywhere near as bad as what my initial reaction was. And to be honest, these things, even though we don't like some of it up front, it will make it easier to, get the exchange rates better, maybe. And if I'm being 100% honest, I'll be happy if they can reduce the lead time it takes to sell it, because I don't think that we're going to see a time where, we're not at 500 dilithium for 1 Zen. I just don't see it happening. There's just too much dilithium, and we can make it too fast, even with all of these nerfs. And if they nerfed it hard enough to where, that supply was lower, a lot of people would stop playing the game. They wouldn't be happy about that either. So it's kind of a two-edged sword, right? We want to be able to make all of this dilithium so we can exchange it for Zen, but in doing that, the market supply of it is huge, and that devalues it, and that's why we're seeing the lead times and the max on the exchange rate. I mean, it's just, it's basic kind of economics. So, I mean, the only two things they can do is give us more things to spend it on and or reduce the supply. So I want to see more things to spend it on. The problem with that is that they have to make more things for us to spend it on, and that's where I see the issue, is that I don't see them putting tons of time into that. If it doesn't make them dollars. They're a business, and if they, make something, it's for profit. I mean, that's just how it works, So I think what their idea is anything that was a mini, a microtransaction is what they called it, or mini events, or maybe things that were only available through codes at conventions or whatever it may be, things like that. They're going to start shifting into the Phoenix shop, or, so basically make it purchasable with dilithium. And I lost my train of thought. It's happening a lot today. And I also think that we'll probably see things from the MUDs market move over, like limited time kind of thing. Like, we're seeing the Vulcan ship that was in the MUD store. It'll probably get pulled. So if they had a rotation going like that as well, that would be pretty cool if they did something like that. I think that would help quite a bit, being able to sync more of that. But past those kinds of things, I mean, really what they're doing is they're shifting, they're shifting the chairs around on the deck, right? I just don't think we're going to see any kind of really broad scope things that are new and different that are going to be brought in to address this issue. I mean, I think that's really the bottom line on it. But we'll see. At a minimum, I do think that they are making a good faith effort. And again, it's easy. Anything that hurts us or the way we play a little bit, it's always like, oh, they're trying to screw us. But I really don't think they're trying to screw us. I mean, their player base is not huge. They cannot afford to do that. So they might make some wrong decisions that look that way, but I really don't think that's their intent, and I don't have a problem with them making money. That's the whole point, right? I mean, they wouldn't exist if they couldn't be profitable. Let me catch up on chat here, guys. I think there's less people buying Zen with money, so that doesn't help make the balance. Yeah, I mean, I know I've spent about $20 on buying Zen this week to switch for dilithium. Just this announcement by itself was a sink, right? Because a lot of us went out and purchased a lot of the now classic upgrades. Sitting on T5 and T6 Infinity reward ship boxes. whenever I win one or get one, because I've opened it's been a long time since I opened any boxes, but the last time I did, I actually won a ship. I sat on that box for like a year. I just couldn't make my mind up. Exactly, oddish. Players started, okay, market with always ends up costing much more than normal players. Yeah, you know, and that is the thing, right? Is that in a game with a scope so big, any change that they make to it is going to have a disproportional effect on different, you know, groups of players. And it does feel like, you know, it generally is going to affect your, you know, free-to-play, your budget players and things a lot more. And, I mean, it makes sense, right? I mean, if you're okay with spending hundreds of dollars whenever you want on the game, then nothing's ever going to affect you in this game or any other one, right? You know, for people that are you know, free-to-play or, you know, very budget-oriented, these kinds of things are going to affect you more. But you know, and everything that I've seen here, I'm not getting the sense... and I'm not seeing that these changes are going to, you know, make them tons more profit, right? I mean, these changes, I think, are really aimed towards, at least in their view, you know, trying to help some of these systems that were in place to, you know, help people that are budget player or free to play. I mean, if they did none of this stuff, I mean, you'd be waiting 6 months for, you know, Zen to Dill exchange. And, you know, and that basically at that point makes it kind of useless, right? So... I don't know. I mean, we're just going to have to see how it continues to pan out. I hope this stuff helps. I haven't exchanged any dilithium this week. I might do some on my free-to-play next week if I can grind out a little bit more to make it kind of worth my while, just to see how long that takes. I know Trizander does it fairly often, too. I'd have to check with him and see. And Spencer in his spreadsheets, CasualSAB, he's always got a way of just plugging some numbers into a spreadsheet and telling me that, too. But I would be interested to see in about a week from now, number one, if that time for exchanges come down, and if so, you know, how much. Joe, the other side of that is everything they're doing, it might not work. They might be wrong, you know, and it might be just hurting you know, a large segment of the player base and not helping anybody either, even themselves, you know, so that's always a possibility as well. But I mean, I haven't seen anything, and I mean, you know, on my paid account, I spend money on it, but I don't spend hundreds of dollars a week. You know, I'll spend $20 here, and there. I'll, you know, pick up a ship every now and then. If there's, you know, some new bundle that comes out that's, you know, awesome, that's probably like once a year. So I mean, I'm not that guy that's just, oh, it's new, I'm buying it and spending tons of money. So, I mean, I spend money on the game, but I would still consider myself, you know, budget. I still exchange, you know, dilithium for Zen and all of those kinds of things to offset it. 23K Zen is $41.49 in Epic Games. Okay, for my, okay, zone and map. That's how I can buy more. Oh, okay, I gotcha. Yeah, I just found out that that's a thing. So if you live in particular places, I think one of them's like Argentina, and I'm sure it's different all around the map, but the exchange rates or your purchase, like if you were to take, say, American dollars, let's say you're on vacation and you go to Argentina, and I don't even know if that's the right place, but you go to Argentina and you log in and your account's associated with that place, right? And you're, you know, switch your American money to Argentinian money, whatever it's called, you would get just a tremendous amount more Zen than you would if you were buying it in dollars. I submitted an offer for Zen on Thursday, so I can let you know. Okay, yeah, definitely do that. General Washington, I'd like to know how those effects are happening, and you know, see how they're going over the next week or two. But I think if they rotate good ships, especially if we're looking at like promo ships, things like that, in from the Mud store in through the Phoenix store, I think we could see some really good stuff. Just don't get caught. Yeah, no, I am not advocating doing that. I'm just saying that that's a thing and was giving an example for how that's a thing, essentially. Yes, we are, just to be clear, we are not advocating using a VPN to do that or taking a vacation to do that. Just to up your Zen game. If they do double the dilithium to Zen cap, I probably won't be able to buy anything new yearly. Yeah, I don't think they should change that. Double-barreled. I don't think they should change that at all. They should not raise that cap. Because I'd rather wait and get as much value as I can, as opposed to like them continually or raising that cap. And yeah, I can get it right away, but it's not worth, you know, as much. Yep, somebody just got an epic prize token. It's not fair. I have been seeing that pop up on the screen a lot more, though. Again, it's anecdotal, but epic tokens are definitely dropping at a higher rate, it seems. Although a lot more people are opening boxes, because not only is it an event, but there's also been the update to it, and so everybody's trying even harder than normal. So we really can't say, at least on the epic side, although anecdotally, I know a few people that have gotten them compared to the last couple of years, where I don't know anybody that has gotten them. I think it will be over 2 weeks. That would be some vacation, yeah. I voted to not spend any more money on STO a few months back, and then they hit me with a fave cannon ship. Battle Cloak, Raider, Defiant, yeah. You know, it's one of those things, I mean, I don't know. I'm just kind of one of those people, like, if I just don't take it personally, you know, and I'm not saying like everybody does, but if Star Trek suddenly got to a place where it's like crazy expensive and all this kind of thing, but I could still play it with what I have and I like playing it, then I would. I don't care. I wouldn't be happy about it, right? But you know, I just feel like there's nothing I can do to change it. That doesn't mean I wouldn't say anything and, you know, and those kinds of things, but I don't know. If something comes out that I just really like and I have the resources, then I'll buy it. But I mean, you look at games like, you know, Warships or, you know, Star Citizen or whatever. I mean, the price of some of their stuff is outrageous. I know it's apples and oranges, those comparisons and stuff, but a ship in STO at $30 is actually pretty inexpensive, comparatively speaking, to most other large games like this. And when they go on sale at, you know, $24, it's not a bad deal. And even with all the problems of, you know, the exchange and all of those kinds of things, there's not many other games that give you avenues to be able to, you know, progress through the game and do very, very well. There's no gates on content or any of those kinds of things, you know, like other games like SOTOR, for instance, you know, which has a very good model. I like that all of their lockbox stuff, it's all cosmetic, right? I mean, there's nothing that you can pay for other than a boost to save you some time leveling wise that's going to get you better gear than anybody else, right? But at the same time, there's a lot of content and things that are gated that you can't get some of that gear without paying the subscription. And I'm not saying one's better than the other, they're just different. But STO, to me, even with everything that, you know, has evolved over the past years and some of the changes they're doing to fix it, there's not I know there's a couple others. So every time I say this, I get a message with like the 2 games, and I can't remember it off the top of my head. But you know, somebody coming into the game, learning it and stuff, can get whatever they want, but it's going to take time, you know, and that's really kind of the bottom line. I mean, time is money, right? And so some people, they say, well, I could work a part-time job and make more money than I would save, you know, grinding on STO, and that's true, you know. So it really depends on your situation. If you're, you know, a younger person that, you know, doesn't work and you have time in between college and, you know, or whatever it may be, and you can spend tons of time on the game, then, you know, that's your money. Their time is money. If you're not, you know, I do a lot less grinding these days, but I also have an established account with tons of resources and stuff. But back in the day, I did a lot of grinding, and then I got to the place where it was like, you know, I could save myself just hours and hours and hours of my life. And for me, it was like, well, I could spend $20 and just get this thing I want and go play with my kids, or I could spend 30 hours grinding, you know. So all the options are there. It's just really kind of a balancing on an individual level for your priorities, you know, and everybody's priorities are different too, right? Your obligations are different, those kinds of things. But it's wide open. I mean, and that's why I started the free-to-play account, right? Because I've had that now, working on it hard for about 2 years, and it's, you know, it's top tier. I don't have everything in the game. I don't have all the ships that I want, but I can perform up in the top 10%. I can play through all the missions, have a good time. I got the vanity shields that I want, you know. I can get a promo ship a year now, you know, with the event if I want to go that route. You know, so I mean, there's a ton there to where this game does facilitate. If you don't have the money to spend, but you have the time, you can play and you can get the stuff and shoot. I mean, I grinded that pretty hard like the first couple months, like kind of leveling and all of that. But nowadays, I just go in and do the events, you know. So it's not even I'm spending hours a day on the free to play. So, you know, go and do the events, and you could just get away with just doing that and do very, very well. Or get the kids to do the grinding. Yeah, Crusher. That. So I'll just tell you a quick story. So they all wanted to play with Dad, so I set them all up accounts and stuff, and you know, they were kind of into it, but you know, there's a lot of just kind of, you know, playing hide and go seek and things like that on DS9 and that kind of thing, which was fine. And then they started playing other stuff, and they were like, well, Dad, will you help me out with this event? And before long, I was managing, like, I didn't have a free to play at that time, but I was playing events on like 4 accounts. So finally I'm like, you know what, guys, we're done with that. In fact, they owe me now. They should be logging in and doing events on my account for me. If it only could work that way, though. So there's more smaller transactions. Emerald 6 Killer, I'm not sure what you're asking. Martin, yeah, that's right. I mean, there is a lot of ways, you know, to farm that stuff out. And I've never set up like on my free to play, I didn't set up a bunch of farming alts and all those kinds of things. I literally just played the game. Most of the time I had fun doing it. Sometimes I had little grind sessions to just, you know, earn the dilithium and stuff. I'd take advantage of any kind of, you know, double dilithium weekends, things like that. And I was able to, you know, get my EC cap, be able to get an account bank before they made that free or included. You know, so you don't even have to if you put together a big farming operation, then you can have anything in the game, right? You can be a whale like anybody else. But you don't even have to do that if you just want to get some of the select things that you want to have and, you know, be able to have fun in the game. All right. Was there anything else we needed to go over here, guys? Because I'm going to have to finish up here pretty quick. I didn't have any giveaways planned for today. I will next week. We had someone donate 100 million EC, so we'll be giving that away. And I'm hoping to have some news soon on some giveaways for console. I'm going to personally be doing some giveaways for console for gift cards, but I'm working on some other things for console as well. And I'm hoping I will have an update on how that's going here soon. So I'll let you guys know once that happens. And let me check my notes, make sure I'm not forgetting anything else here. I think that's everything. Yeah, so we got a lot coming up next week. I'll be live next week. I'll probably... I kind of like... Do you guys like an earlier time like this at 11? 11 o'clock for me. So I'm an hour earlier than what I normally like to be. Although the last like 2 weeks I was like hours later than what I normally like to be. But let me know down in the comments if you're watching this after the fact, when's a good time. Because a lot of people that watch it after the fact, they missed it too. So I think that's it, guys. I think that covers everything I wanted to talk about. Anything else you guys had on your minds, were thinking? Zed, it's coming, I promise. Does the red alert contribute towards the event campaign? It does not. It does not count towards the event campaign. The new, that's something we should probably just reiterate as well. This new one that's going to start. Where is it? There's so much stuff here. Is it in this one? No, that's all of that. The new one that's about to start does not count either. Okay, so right now, as of right now, there is nothing on the schedule or that has been announced for the event campaign. So this one does not count towards your event campaign. So I'm assuming we'll get something after this and before the summer event. And to be honest, I was pretty surprised. Well, we've had 3 of them already at the beginning of the year. I mean, I guess we're almost halfway through the year, but it's been a month or so. So the first quarter, we got 3 of the events out of the, 6? So, I mean, we got a lot of them up front, which was kind of interesting to me. No, we only got 2 of them? I thought we got 3. Maybe it's just that these were really close together. Yeah, so they're going to be spreading the rest of these across this year here. So it's probably going to be a month or 2, I would assume, before we would get the next one. Yep. But that, yeah, the current one, Red Alert, and the one that's upcoming is not going to count towards that. So, all right, guys, that is going to do it for me. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the stream, please consider hitting that thumbs up button. If you're not subscribed, please consider doing that as well. I would appreciate that greatly. Okay, I think that's everything, guys. Thank you very much. If you have other questions that I haven't answered, because I know I miss a lot of chat here on these live streams, hit up the Discord. The link's down in the description. Also, if you put a comment on any of these videos, I look at every single comment. I don't necessarily answer every single one, but I do look at every single one of them. But Discord's the best place to do that. Either I'll answer your question, or there's just a ton of awesome people in there that are more than happy to talk anything STO or Star Trek related with you. So definitely take advantage of that. Everybody's welcomed. You just need to be nice. That's it. So, all right, guys, have a good one. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Martin, have a good one. Rob, thank you, sir. Kawels and Rob, mods, thank you very much. Appreciate you guys. Terry, have a good one. Appreciate you, man. XGem, have a good one. Crusher, 07s. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. Coolio, have a good one. General Washington, good to see you, man. Have a good one. Double Barrel, have a good one. 07s, guys. Appreciate all you. Kitten Claw, appreciate you. Have a good one.